Okay. All right. This is it. All right. So mainly, I feel like I get so caught up in the intro and then I totally forget what I'm supposed to say. So it is finally time to vlog again. It is Gary Raw, and what I'm talking about is emotional intelligence. Now, what I'm talking about is how to go about it, how to be about it, how to show up. Normally, I'm wearing my sunglasses, but some people are already pointing out that I wear them too much, and especially indoors. So I'm just gonna wing it today, and it is super loud in here, so I can super scream. But typically, what I'm going to talk about today is how to be emotionally intelligent, or how to really gauge an emotional tone in a room. Like, that's typically what I feel like is emotional intelligence, when you can gauge a person on their emotional level of the day, whether they're really happy, really tired, really sad, really mad, things like that. So sometimes, like, eventually in their tone, you can kind of gauge who they are. And I feel like a lot of my friends in hospitality and the arts really know how to do this, just because we engage with people constantly, and one of the ways to really develop that skill is to engage with people on a regular basis, kind of like what I'm doing right now, to engage with myself and with you guys on a regular basis, so that way I can, kind of, one, squash the excuse of I don't have time to make videos, because I do. When you make time for something, it shows where your priorities lie. And that could also be one of the key features to emotional intelligence, based on what they make their priority. Like, for example, let's say you ask somebody to go ahead and do a particular task in the day, and you really need it by 4 o'clock, but they really don't get it to you by 5 o'clock. Well, it just goes to show that you weren't their necessary priority. And maybe then you need to shift gears on what you're doing with that person, or maybe like even shift gears on who you're doing, or who you're asking to do that particular task. That could be a work-related thing, that could be a friend-related thing, that could be an overall life aspect, but typically priorities and actions will definitely show where a person lies emotionally, sometimes where, what they feel is most important. But typically when you're engaging with somebody, this is how you typically know what their emotional level is. Eye contact is a key feature in this. So if you are staring somebody dead in the face and they're kind of looking at their phone, or they're looking away, or they're really sad or emotional or upset, they typically don't keep eye contact. They don't want to recognize it, or their importance is elsewhere. So whether it be like their kids, or whether it be like a particular document on their phone, you're just not important right now, like especially in front of their face. So I feel like when you engage with a person directly in front of their face and they're looking at your phone, they may have other stuff on their mind, or they may be really, really busy, or things like that. So that could be a key feature, is eye contact. And typically, a friend of mine, her and I were like discussing this the other day, is that this is one of the key features you can have without necessarily touching somebody. So when you look at somebody and you actively engage with them, and you talk with them, and you speak to them face to face, you can typically kind of gauge where their emotions are at, or kind of like where their enthusiasm levels are at, where God, I'm like drawing a blank on every kind of emotion. Like if they're angry, if they're upset, if they're if they're feeling really, really stressed, you can typically gauge all of this within their eyes. Now, another strong thing that I'm going to put hers in here, and you can tell me whether it's yay or nay, is smile. Now, if you're smiling and you're actively engaging and you're looking them dead in the face, you can use your own active energy to bump them up a little bit, or even make them feel better. So use that as a tactic, because overall, if I'm smiling, even under stress, even under absolute stress, everything's hit the fan, we got 20 different clients asking for photos, things like that. If you are smiling to your team, to your friends, to your family, it'll create this positivity domino effect that is unbelievably strong. People will tend to look up to you a little bit more if you're just throwing that positivity with eye contact and actively engaging in front of them without any forms of getting on your phone or looking away or looking down. If you just maintain eye contact and look them dead in the eye and say, like, we can do this together, then that positivity will rise. Then that emotional intelligence that you gave to them will rise. Well, not emotional intelligence, like that active energy level. But it's that use of emotional intelligence that brings you to another level. But overall, I want to hear from you guys. I really want to hear what the active, engaging, like how do you engage? Do you do it like very, very enthusiastically? Do you do it through email? Do you do it through text? What do you find is the best way to actively engage with somebody or to develop those emotional intelligence? Like I said, a key thing to anything in life I feel is to practice it daily, because some of the things we forget, it's kind of like a muscle. Like everything, I always relate back to it being like some sort of a muscle, because you need to actively practice it every single day and believe in it. Don't practice it and then not believe it and then tell somebody else like, no, don't do this, and then do it because you hate it and you don't necessarily want to follow through with that kind of mindset. You need to change it up then. You need to change it. Like, I believe in this. Like, I believe that if I keep talking to you guys and develop topics to talk about and then have feedback on those topics, we can engage and figure out cool ways to like maybe better your work environment, maybe better your love life, maybe better social opportunities down the road. It could be anything. Typically, I like to promote positivity everywhere, no matter what you're doing, no matter how you're doing it. Like, if you feel like you have to be negative, step back. Maybe you need to reevaluate how you feel about it, and then attack it again, every single day. So if you show up every single day, it'll be good in a positive way. And if you can't be positive about it, then you need to probably change it up a little bit. But I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear the feedback. I want to hear what's going on. So just let me know in the comments below. I would love for you guys to subscribe. I don't think I've ever told anybody to subscribe yet. Or if I did in the previous video, I don't remember, because these things are always daily and they're on my phone. So I don't edit them. I just post them. If I don't like it, I retake it though. So this is probably like, I think, the third or fourth time. But yeah, this is the longest one I've ever done. And the first one I've ever done without sunglasses, because it is nighttime and it makes no damn sense to wear sunglasses. But I will have one for tomorrow. I think tomorrow's one is going to be about the Nifty 50. So if you want to hear about what Nifty 50 you use, I'm going to be doing one on Nifty 50 that I use. But then after that, I don't know what's going to be about. So just keep in touch. Subscribe. If you haven't already, provide me feedback. And this is Gary.Raw, episode number 11 on emotional intelligence or positivity. It could be either one. Really. Use positivity to be emotionally intelligent. I think that'd be cool. Okay, let me know. Sounds good. All right, Gary.Blake, Gary.Raw. Said my last name and first name. Signing off.